Next, we are pleased to present Sara Johnson, a board-certified nurse practitioner at the Michigan Institute for Neurological Disorders, MIND, in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Sara earned her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Bradley University in 1998 and her Master of Science in Nursing from the University of North Carolina in 2005. She is a MS certified nurse and has been working in neurology since 2012. Sara provides care for patients with MS and participates in MS clinical research. Sara's topic today is nutrition for a healthy lifestyle. Welcome, Sara.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's so great to see so many familiar faces. I'm really happy to be here tonight. I'm happy that you are all able to join us as well. I also want to thank Yoga Moves MS for putting on this great program and really looking at MS from a holistic standpoint. So my topic tonight is nutrition, and the food started coming out, so I think this is an appropriate time for our lecture. And I think we could really talk about nutrition for the entire length of our program tonight, but I'm given 20 minutes, so I'm going to really try to give you some simplified, straightforward information that you can take home and use in your everyday life. And I wanted to ask you, I have a clicker? Okay. One thing I learned from my kids is I take my notes on my phone, so I'm not looking at text messages, it's my notes. So currently there is no specific diet recommended for individuals living with multiple sclerosis. Perfect, thank you. As Dr. Belkin mentioned earlier, diet does not replace disease-modifying therapy, okay, in managing the disease. But we do feel that diet is a good add-on that helps with our outcomes in patients living with MS. Studies show that a balanced diet and a healthy lifestyles do lead to better outcomes, both clinically and with measures of quality of life. Now, there are many diets that have been researched in multiple sclerosis, and I listed all those diets here on the screen. You're more than welcome to take a picture of this, but they are on the link that you'll be able to access later on for your review. I'm not going to go through all of these diets. That would probably take me, again, the entire evening to go through. And really, as I mentioned prior, there's no one diet or protocol that's recommended for MS. Each individual is very different, and some individuals may do well with a particular diet plan that's listed on the screen. If you're an individual who does really well with a certain set of guidelines or rules, then one of these diet plans may be a good choice for you. For some individuals, that's not, doesn't work well for them. When I get asked about nutrition, my first response is, what is sustainable? We have to look at nutrition and diet. We have to look at nutrition and diet as a lifestyle, something that we can do sustainably over the course of our life, not something that we can do for a year, for 6 months. This is something that we have to address ongoing. So I put together 10 tips that you can take away from tonight and implement in your everyday life right away. So the first tip is I want you to prioritize protein. Why? Prioritizing protein helps us maintain and build our muscle. It helps us to feel full, helps us feel satisfied. It helps with our satiety. And it also helps regulate our appetite, helps us with our energy, helps us with our hunger. So what are good sources of protein? I listed them up here on the screen. Fish, chicken, turkey, pork, lean beef, tofu, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Okay, lots of options. The goal is that I want you to make sure you have protein at every meal. Okay. The second goal, I want you to increase your fiber. And how do we do that? We increase our fiber with vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. And why is that important? Helps with our digestion, helps with feeling fuller longer, helps us feel satisfied with our meal. It increases the bulk of your food, so helps you sustain your energy throughout the day. The goal with fiber is to get a minimum of 35 grams in a day. If you could get even 25 to 30, would be great. The average American diet gets about 15. Okay. If you're not familiar with the types of food that have fiber, you can certainly, Google a vegetable, okay, or a fruit. For me, I usually eat a cup of blueberries every morning. A cup of blueberries has 4 grams of fiber. Okay, just for reference. Next. Your third tip is carbohydrates are not bad, but they're not all created equal. Okay. I listed the healthy carbohydrates on the screen. Vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. These all are good sources of carbohydrates. Our vegetables can actually kind of be divided into 2 groups. We have some vegetables that are very low in calorie, low in carbohydrates. They're high in fiber. These are our leafy vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, celery. Our higher carbohydrate vegetables, we'll call them the wet starchy vegetables. Those are our potatoes, our squashes, peas, carrots, legumes, beans, okay? Now I said beans. You might have thought beans were a good source of protein. And in fact, beans, the calories in beans mostly come from a carbohydrate. Yes, beans have protein, but they are a source of carbohydrate. So beans would contribute to your daily intake of protein, but it really is a carbohydrate. Very healthy, filling carbohydrate. The goal with carbohydrates is to go whole food, unprocessed, or minimally processed carbohydrates. Please, next slide. The fourth tip is fat in moderation. I really want you to limit saturated and trans fatty acids. We find this in our red meats, our cheeses, our butter, our ice cream, and all of our processed food. Really want you to look at choosing healthier options of fat, and that is our unsaturated fat. And we find that in fish, nuts, seeds, avocados, and oil. All right, number 5, we gotta decrease the amount of processed food. And this is probably where a lot of us struggle. I do as well. Busy lifestyle, they're convenient, they're quick, they're easy. You're hungry, you're tired, you want something quick and fast. What do we grab? We grab processed food, fast food, chips, crackers, pasta, sandwiches, white bread. These foods cause inflammation. And it's been brought up a couple times this evening with both Dr. Belkin and Dr. Boster. But these foods cause inflammation in the gut, in our digestive system. And the gut microbiome that Dr. Belkin alluded to, not going to go into depth. It's a very complex discussion, but causes some inflammation in the intestine and potentially can contribute to increased symptoms in patients who have MS. So I really want you to try to work on minimizing this group. Okay, next slide. Number 6 is consistency, not perfection. Okay, I want to stop with the good food, bad food. Okay, there's healthier food and a little less unhealthy food. Okay, let's create a really healthy relationship with food and follow the 80-20 rule, where we strive to eat really healthy 80% of the time, and 20% of the time, we have some leniency. What is that leniency? We have holidays, birthday parties, go out to dinner with friends. That's where you can potentially have your pasta or a piece of cake, some ice cream, okay? But the following day, get right back on with your healthy eating, okay? Other ways to do this is to plan ahead. Meal prep. Have your breakfasts ready every morning. You can prep that ahead of time. Prep your lunches and have lunches ready for the whole week. So that when it is time for a meal, you already have things that are prepped. You just have to mix a few things together and they're all ready. Eating at home, you tend to eat a little better, a little healthier. But, eating out is typically high in calories, high in fat. Really work on those balanced meals, the protein, fiber, serving of healthy carb, serving of healthy fat. That's going to help you stay full until your next meal. It prevents grazing, prevents snacking. And I also want you to avoid skipping meals. If you eat no breakfast, a really tiny lunch, you are starving by 4:30. Done it myself. Office is busy sometimes, busy in the morning getting kids off to school. Had a protein bar for lunch, and here comes after school. I got home from work, dinner's not ready. Okay, so try not to skip meals. Staying hydrated, basically drink more water. I think we all can do better in this category. Helps us with our energy, helps us with all vital aspects of a healthy body, healthy brain, healthy mind. Really want you to limit coffees, teas, sugary drinks, limit or avoid alcohol. The goal is 6 to 8 glasses, 6 to 8 ounce glasses every day. Now you could be sitting there thinking, I have a bladder symptom. It's hard for me to drink a lot of water. And if that is one of your symptoms, you got to come in and talk to one of your healthcare providers because there might be something that we can do to help with that symptom. Okay, next slide. Movement and exercise. This is a tough one because patients with MS sometimes struggle with their mobility. You struggle with fatigue and tiredness and motivation, getting up, getting out, transportation. There's a lot of obstacles with exercise, but I can't stress enough the importance of movement. And whatever that movement looks for you, if it is walking, if it's a stationary bicycle, swimming, yoga, resistance bands. We want to try to maintain strength, maintain the muscle that you have. Resistance bands at home are a great way to do that. But the goal is daily movements. It's very important. And then tip number 9, we're just going to talk about several lifestyle aspects that are important with MS. Dr. Boster mentioned sleep. The goal is 7 hours or more of sleep every night. And that is a struggle for a lot of adults. It's a chronic issue. It is hard sometimes to get sleep back in a good cycle. Okay. If you're struggling with sleep, talk with your healthcare provider. Daily sunlight, and that's difficult in Michigan. Finally, just a couple weeks, the sun finally started coming out on a regular basis. But daily sunlight, especially in the morning, helps regulate our circadian rhythm. It helps our bodies make melatonin, which is natural melatonin in the body, which helps us with that sleep-wake cycle. Vitamin D. Patients with MS are chronically deficient in vitamin D, and we need to regularly check your lab work, see if we need to supplement. We do recommend complete smoking cessation in multiple sclerosis. It's very well documented in the literature that smoking does contribute to progressive symptoms in patients with multiple sclerosis. So if you're struggling with smoking and you're ready to stop, talk to your healthcare provider about ways that we can help you. Healthy weight is important. Stress management, relaxation techniques, reflection, and the importance of peer-to-peer interactions, whether it's with individuals like this and talking with each other, family members, support system. You know, COVID was pretty isolating, and some of our patients with MS struggled. So it's very important to keep that social interaction for your healthy lifestyle. And then the last tip is preventative care. Now, patients with MS, they see us quite often, and sometimes they see us as their primary care. And I can't stress enough the importance of having an internist or a primary care that oversees all of your health. They need to follow lab work, any preventative screening. So if you don't have a primary care, that's very important for an overall healthy lifestyle. All right, last slide. This is a review of all 10 tips. Again, if you want to take a photograph of this, it'll be available for you later. But these are tips that you can implement today, tomorrow, pick a couple, start working on a healthier lifestyle. If you have questions, if you're struggling with nutrition, sometimes a dietitian consult, a nutritional consult is helpful. Insurance will sometimes pay for that. Sometimes that works. I don't know, that works. I think I have plenty of time, right? Sorry, I talk fast. Go to the next one. So the recipes that Mindy asked me to add to my presentation. So I did come with a couple of breakfast ideas. So next slide, please. And this is something that I actually do myself to help keep myself accountable, to make sure I get breakfast. So overnight oats is a great thing to do. I do it on Sunday night. I make it for the whole week, Monday to Friday. It's a half a cup of oats, a half a cup of almond milk. I like almond milk. If you like skim milk, that is fine. Not a half a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. Mix it all together, put it in the fridge. And that's all you have to do. If you want added protein, sometimes I'll add a scoop of protein powder and mix that in. Again, put it in the fridge and it's done. You get it out the next morning and you eat it. It's very delicious. I do add sometimes some almond butter. I like crunchy almond butter. It gives the overnight oats a little bit more flavor. And then for some added fiber, I'll add a half a cup of blueberries. Super easy, quick and simple. Breakfast every day. You don't have to think about it. Another option, if you have more time, is an egg scramble. Couple of eggs, any vegetable you prefer. To add more protein, you can do egg whites. I have tried cottage cheese and eggs, which I know sounds a little weird, but it's actually very delicious. Helps with the creaminess. And then having a fruit like berries or something on the side. All right, next. So lunch. Prep your lunches for the week. This is another thing that I'll do on Sundays. And I actually had a patient last week who she finally started back at work. She's very excited. She's working night shift at a hospital. But she was struggling with her meal. So she said, I make a big old salad. So I'm like, that is an idea I'm going to use today. So she makes a big old salad at the beginning of the week. And then she just divides it up as she goes day by day. She takes her greens, whatever vegetables, her protein, put it in her bowl, and she's ready for work, lunch. She doesn't have to think about it. It's already done. She's tired and exhausted. It's finished, put together. To make your salad more interesting, you can add things. You can do a taco salad, put beans, maybe some corn, a little bit of cheese. That's your moderate fat. A Mediterranean salad. There's really unlimited options on salads. Protein bowl. My kids love Chipotle. It's expensive. So we will prep stuff to do protein bowls at home. Yep. And then dinner, be creative. Use the template. Protein, fiber, healthy carb, healthy fat. Use that template to make your meal. And really the options are endless. And that's all I have. So thank you for your time. And we're going to move on to the next.